Hi everyone, if you're an existing subscriber, hello and welcome back. If you're new to my channel, hello, welcome, and why not hit subscribe now? I'm your host Alicia Vittoria Keane, and I've been interviewing inspirational people and businesses to find out how and why they inspire others. This week I interviewed Britain's Got Talent contestant and magician Damien O'Brien. Here's how it went. First of all, hello, welcome to the channel. If to begin with, you could just introduce who are you and what do you do?
Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Damien O'Brien. I'm a magician and hypnotist and was most recently seen on Britain's Got Talent final.
When did magic become part of your life? Is it something you've always done or?
I got into magic when I was 13. It was a guy who lived opposite me. He was doing the stuff I was seeing kind of on the TV. So when David Blaine first came out, he was doing that kind of magic, like all close up and stuff. So it wasn't like these big stage things with elaborate showgirls and tigers and stuff. It was just like, that's how people used to see magic. So I got into it that way because I saw him and I just loved the reactions of all the kids outside going, oh my God, this is mind blowing. And it was mind blowing. But I wanted to be able to create those reactions. So yeah, I bugged him until he taught me one trick. And yeah, that's it. I got into magic from that way.
So since getting into magic at the age of 13, you have now performed to quite a few celebrities.
Mm.
How did all that come about?
The performing to the celebrities, it started, I used to go around to like a lot of clubs and stuff in London West End, and I used to sort of blag my way into the VIP areas and stuff like that, and just entertain, like doing it all for free, just trying to hand out business cards, hoping people would pick up on it. And at that point you think there was like no social media like at all, like when I was doing it, like no one was out on Instagram, there was no Twitter or anything. So it was all about websites. So getting these like photos with these like quite big stars and everything when they've just come from a movie premiere, because a lot of the clubs are hosting after film premieres and stuff like that, parties. I was getting these photos and uploading to the sites. So my view is, if I have that, like people look up, well, if he was good enough to perform for them, he's got to be good enough to perform at our party, right? And yeah, it worked. And then I managed to blag my way into this party in London and met a promoter. And he was like, he wasn't actually going to be here tonight, was you? I was like, no, not all. And he went, well, we're hosting the Brit Awards after party next week. Do you want to come to that and entertain? And that was it. It really kicked off on that moment. And yeah, I've not looked back since, really.
A lot of people would be scared to do that. They'd be scared to, as you call it, blag your way into somewhere to make them known. How did you not be scared and keep going to do that?
I think you have to have any kind of level of confidence with no matter what you do in life, whether it's, going for a job interview, or maybe if it's, approaching someone you like out in a bar. It's like, taking that first step. It's just having that little bit of confidence and believing in yourself. So for me, as I had this vision, I knew what I wanted, and I knew, nerves aside, I have to take these risks and try it. Otherwise, what's the point? Like, what happened? What's the worst thing? What happens? It doesn't happen, and guess what? You try again. So I was always just like, you know what? Let's just go for it. Like, the worst can happen is they say no, and how's that really gonna hurt too much? Not all. So, I just kept pushing myself until I started realizing my dreams.
So, do you think it helps that you did have that vision?
100%. I think it was really important, have that vision, because I always say to people, you need to have ambition in life. You need to know what you want to do. Otherwise, you're just going to sort of wander around and not know where you're going. It's not always a bad thing, especially when you're young. Yes, make your mistakes. That's the age. It's not, when you're young, it's not about having, all the answers right then and then. That's the time to make your mistakes, get them out of the way. And eventually your path will start to become clear. You'll start to get that vision, like, right, I want to do this. And, I had other things in like the line, I was always into art, and I used to work in the tattoo studio. And for me, magic was just, I love to entertain. So I just had to sort of follow that ambition. Like, I was like, you know what, if I want this, I've got to give 100% into it.
So a lot of viewers out there who probably watch Britain's Got Talent would be looking at that and maybe thinking, you've already got it all, you've got like the celebrity backing as such. I think Ashley Banjo mentioned that you performed at his wedding.
Yep.
So why did you sign up for Britain's Got Talent?
Yes, like I've performed for loads of celebrities. I've known obviously BGT, like they edit little bits down, but with me and Ashley have known each other for years. Like I knew him before he even done BGT. So that's how far back that goes. And we get on really well. Same with me and Jordan as well. But performing for these celebrities, as I sort of said, it wasn't paying me anything. I was going out there doing this for free, like a lot of the time, and building myself a portfolio. So when I did start earning money doing events and everything, it was great. And obviously I had done other TV shows prior to BGT, but magic's a very hard industry where it's not always consistent. So you can get a booking, but then you could be sitting around for like nearly a month. You're like, okay, I need some work now. Like, what's happening? And you do just get that, like, especially when it hits January, because everyone's had all these parties at Christmas. January to March is dead. It's so hard to get anything, and it doesn't matter what level or how high of an entertainer you are. They're very quiet months. You might get a few late minute Christmas parties, but that's it. So with BGT, it's such massive exposure, and I just felt it was the right time to take my career potentially to that next step. So I was like, you know what, they had been chasing me for about 5 years. I was supposed to do it in 2018 and had to pull out, but this time it was just like, no, I'm going to prove to myself that I've got what it takes, and I just wanted to go on and have fun more than anything.
Do you work full time, or did you work full time alongside Britain's Got Talent?
I was working as a personal trainer in my spare time, so like teaching people how to box and stuff over in the gym, and that was on the side, and magic was a big part. Like I was full-time magic for a very long time, but I always found, like I said, like I needed to know that I always had some kind of income to come in. So I was always passionate about training, and I've been doing boxing for years. So I was just like, you know what, let me get my qualifications and licenses. And I just took it into the gym, and I really enjoyed it and everything. But I don't get me wrong, I hated the 4:30 a.m. wake up calls. They were the worst. They're awful. I'm so glad I ain't got to do them no more. But it was hard to juggle both of them while I was auditioning with BGT, I've got to admit.
And how did you juggle both of them?
With a lot of difficulty. So my boss and everything at that time was actually really cool. He understood what I was trying to achieve and what I wanted to do. So he was quite cool, and like would give me like the time off, especially when I went and did my first audition, and then lockdown happened. And the first sort of week when we went back to the gym, like getting it ready before all the gyms opened again, I had just received the news that, okay, semi-finals are happening here. Like I knew I was in the semi-finals, but I wasn't allowed to tell no one for ages. Like it's really like annoying. We all found out in February, like that was in. So it was such a long wait. And then I was just like, yeah, they're kind of filming the semi-finals in 6 weeks. So I'm going to need a bunch of time off. And I've just come back into work, and they're like, okay. Like, and he was like, all right about it. And then when I found out I was in the finals, like, I was like, oh my God, I'm in the finals. Like, and I found out why I didn't work as well. So like, and it just went from there. And obviously I had to tell him, look, I've got to call it a day here, because when I found out I was in the final, I knew I had to give 110%. It was like 4 weeks to the final. Like, and that's not a lot of time to prepare something brand new what had never been done before.
So do you think it helps having that supportive boss in wanting to achieve your dream? So for someone watching this, if they've got a boss who's not supportive, do you think that can hold them back, as opposed to your boss who was really supportive, wanting to help?
I think so. I mean, like I was quite lucky with the gym when I first joined them, and they was like, well, how flexible can you be with like in here with shifts and training, teaching classes? I was like, I could be like really flexible, and as long as you understand if I've got a gig, I have to go do that. That's a priority because one, it pays more, and two, it's my job I had first before here, which I will always give 100% to. So, and I was always really cool with it, but I can understand it with companies. It's not always potentially in the best interest of the company if you're going to be in out all the time, and it's kind of like, well, you've got to pick one. But I think it does make it harder, because if you're fearing for your job, when you're like, you know what, if I do this again, I might lose my day job, and I can see how that'd be hard on people. But I think if you sort of tell them straight, look, I've got this amazing opportunity here, yeah, I think most will be okay, but you never know. So
What has been your biggest challenge with your magic? Obviously, you've mentioned about not having it being like secure all the time. Would you say that's been your biggest challenge, or is it learning new tricks?
definitely not learning new tricks. Learning new tricks is really fun, and because it allows you to get creative, and especially when you see so many talented magicians around and you hang out with them and chat, it's great to like sort of learn and see what they're doing. So that sort of gets you thinking. So I always enjoy that process. But I think it is probably just always trying to make sure you're constantly keeping yourself out there. For me, since 2012 was when I did Penn and Teller Fool Us. And from that moment, like having that first little TV push, is I always had to kind of keep pushing to keep your name relevant and keep your name out there. So people want to book you, they want to, hire you for an event. So that was always a really big part for me. And I think that's probably been the big struggle, always just trying to make yourself stay relevant, that people remember you and go, like, because I always say, I wanted that, right? If someone had hired a magician for their wedding, I want it in their head that they could see the magician and go, oh yeah, it's really good, but we've seen Damien, and I don't mean that in that arrogant thing. I just want them to always be able to remember that they had a great experience watching me perform. So I think that's the toughest thing to do.
Do you think social media has probably helped play a part in keeping that relevance?
There's pros and cons to my feelings on social media with magic. And yes, it helps because a lot of brands and companies, they go to social media, they want to see what people are doing. Maybe a bit too much, unfortunately. They look at as what's your system, what's your followers' engagement and all that, like where, beforehand it was like, well, we can see they're good, they've just done this and this and this. Just because a person ain't potentially active on social media doesn't mean they ain't incredible at what they do. I know some insane photographers and people who do editing who don't even really bother with social media. And I'm like, but then there's a lot of magicians who do tricks which are only for social media as well. So and they couldn't really probably perform maybe in real-time situations. Like, don't be wrong, they've worked out a career path for them. If it's working for them, great. For me, that's not sort of the way. But I mean, I use social media to promote myself and my businesses. So I found it has helped, but I can see how it's also can be a bit, unfortunately unfair to a lot of people too.
So how do you stay relevant?
For me, I just always try and do something what someone else ain't doing. Like, I sort of look and think, right, what can I bring to the table? What this person is not, to just be myself. I don't try to be someone I'm not. With BGT, I think a lot of people saw that I was quite, just laid back, very chilled. It wasn't an act for me. It was just, oh, he's just being himself. Like, he's sort of like the first audition you saw, like, I was just sort of smiling, happy, like, and all that. A lot of these magicians, they go into a very, like, a performance. It's like they're two people. They're, the self, then they're the performer. And just me all the time. I'm like, I don't want to get lost in all that. So, but with staying relevant, I'm always trying to put up like fun videos or posts, and I approach, like, a lot of people don't know how to do it. I feel like I'm quite good at being able to approach brands and companies and saying, look, I've just been thinking about this idea for maybe a trick with your headphones or your coffee company, and this is what I've done. I think we could do something really amazing together and collab, maybe do some social media posts. What do you think? And then they're like, oh, okay, like we wasn't expecting that. So, and it opens doors. So I think it's just about knowing how to approach the situation as well.
And being proactive, I suppose.
Yeah, you can't just sit there and wait for the phone to ring. You've got to go and hunt for these things and, take a risk. Like, social media is there to connect with brands and companies and influencers. It's a wonderful thing. So it's not hard to just drop them a message. Like, it's a similar thing. Like, if they reply, brilliant. If they don't, oh well, there's about a million other companies which are probably doing, things along those sort of lines where you can approach.
Now, going back to your 13-year-old self, just starting out magic, what would you say to that person?
I would say to them, do you know what? Most importantly, always just have fun with performing magic, because that's what magic's meant to be. Never forget that. We all got into magic because at some point we met a magician who completely blew our minds, where it was like, how did they do that? I always remember that feeling of what it was like to be so fooled and like so mind blown. So I always just say, yeah, just enjoy it and have fun.
Thank you very much. And finally, I have 10 very quick questions.
Let's do it.
Okay, are you ready? They're completely
I'm ready, I think.
Okay. Butter or margarine?
Butter.
Favourite magician?
David Blaine.
Okay. Rabbits or hamsters?
Rabbits.
Favourite magic trick?
Carding fish.
Okay, I'm going to have to Google that.
Hey, I'm the only person who's ever done it, so that's why I'm saying it.
That's cheating. Best moment on Britain's Got Talent?
Oh, that's so hard. I'm going to say the first edition when everyone stood up, because I was never expecting that. It's such an amazing moment.
That is a fantastic experience to have, most definitely. Where do you see your act going?
On tour. Well, it gets announced on Monday, so there you go. Exclusive. No one knows that yet. So Monday we announce it.
Ah, cool. Cereal or toast?
Cereal.
Best place you've ever travelled to?
Ooh. Mexico.
Oh, I bet that is pretty cool.
It's beautiful.
Oranges or lemons?
Oranges.
And if you could be any movie star, who would you be?
Oh my God. Keanu Reeves.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for your time today. It's been great speaking to you.
No worries. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
It just goes to show the importance of staying relevant and making sure that people know who you are when you want to be successful. If Damien just sat back and didn't do anything, he didn't put himself out there, he didn't go to those clubs, he probably wouldn't have got to where he is today. You can follow Damien at the links here. If you have someone that inspires you, comment below. I'm always so interested to find out who others find inspirational. Likewise, if you have an inspirational story to tell or think that your story could help others, comment below, drop me a message on social media, or even drop me an email. On Wednesday at 5 o'clock, I'll be speaking with singer-songwriter and presenter Joe Holmes. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, comment below, let me know what you think, and don't forget to hit subscribe. See you all on Wednesday. See you later.